No, I'm just not animated right now. I just got off a
Uh,
session, so
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah.
Coaching?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
How many sessions do you do like per week normally?
Um, Depends on the week. Right now it's probably close to like I can check my calendar. This past week I had do. Oh well, okay. Last week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Dang, okay. How many of those are recurring where people are like coming back over and over versus like one
Um,
off?
Most of them. Last week was a better week. Um, so I had like a few first timers. Um, and then most of them are reoccurring. I think reoccurring every week. I've got like around 10 right now. And
Nice.
then yeah, just any extras. Sometimes it's like they'll come back. Like one guy last week, I met with him like last month, and so they now that I have like the different booking thing going on, people
Mm-hmm.
can kind of just get a session whenever they want. But most people, like they're serious about it, kind of want to do every week if they can. So,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. What have you found makes students really good? Like as you've coached a lot of people, what are the ones who improve really fast? Like what do they do differently? Whether it's in what they do or something about their personality or the way they practice. Like are there any common factors among the high performers?
well, it's fun. Um, they need to be like self-disciplined because you get an hour a week with me, right? And then I always am like, hey, look, if you have any questions about any of the progress or like any of the practice drills, like if anything is not making sense, like you need to message me so we can clear it up before we meet next week, so that way we're
Mm-hmm.
not spending more time just like correcting your practice in the last week that like should have been going better. I was talking to Jiayu Wang. He was Yihang's coach for a period of time. He's like the Moyu sponsorship coordinator,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and he was telling me like in China, the biggest factor that determines if a kid is going to be good is like how involved the parents are.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like if the parents like make the kids sit down and do the work, the kid will be good. Um, I don't know. I think it's mainly just like some people kind of just really grasp the concept super quickly. Like I had one kid go from like this is like probably last year. He went from 15 to like low 10 in probably like a month, like month and a half. And it was just like, he had the same types of problems that like a lot of people deal with, like, start planning cross plus one, get your look ahead better, like here's some efficiency stuff you can work on. But it was like every week he came back and he just like understood the things I was saying and like it just clicked for him naturally. Like I think there is very much like a level of natural talent that is somewhat overlooked.
Yeah, yeah.
Um like people like Theodore I think are just naturally talented. Obviously Yihang's very naturally talented. Timofey as well, given like his unorthodox solving style, is still very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's partially just like how quickly will they grasp those concepts and also just like willingness to kind of like be slower for a period of time to like
Yeah.
implement
Yeah.
the better thing because some people are just like I don't want to do that. So yeah, it's just like self-discipline, some level of like natural aptitude, and then just like willingness to be slower for a period of time if it means like growth overall.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Something I was curious. There were a few different things I was wondering if you would say. You didn't say anything. Like that's a super good answer. But there was this one time at a competition where I was talking to Max Park's mom, and this was like 3 years ago, and she was like, "I just saw this video of a kid in China, Yufeng Du.
Yeah, the goat.
Watch, he is going to be top five in the world. Mark my words. His turning is amazing." And I was like, okay, I'm watching Yufeng. And I
Yeah.
remember when I saw his first top five average come in, I was like, yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Mickey knew what she was talking
Called
about.
it.
Like that,
Yeah.
yeah. But like, I thought that was so interesting that because she has seen so much solving and so many people, she was just like, this kid has it. Just from
Yeah.
like a few videos, she could tell.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, you can look at someone's turning and be like, this person turns really, really well. But like your turning potential doesn't really matter if you can't like access it fully in solves. And like that's like, there's a few archetypes of like clients that I get, and one of them is like TPS kid, turns really fast, pauses between every pair, and it's like, hey
Hmm.
man, you have to like turn slower. And then they're like, okay, sure, I got it. And then like we'll be doing solves like on a call or something, and I'm like, okay, look, can I get you to turn slower? And like, it just doesn't click in their brain like physically how to do it. Like, they have one speed
Yeah.
that they go at, and it's really hard to like overwrite that. And I fell into that boat for a really long time, and it's only now that I feel like I have a lot more control and I can kind of like the biggest thing is like varying turn speed. That's like a huge thing that people kind of
Mm-hmm.
overlook. Like you don't need
Mm-hmm.
to turn it at a constant pace. The thing you need to do is not pause. So if like
Yeah.
that means turn slower in some parts or faster in other parts, like you should be able to kind of vary between that.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking about that this week for big cubes. I put that in my last video. It's like I noticed that I would get into a flow state on like 7x7, and for really easy parts of like last three centers, I'd be going at like half speed. And it's like, why am I doing this? If I just burst my TPS for the last three centers, I get 10 seconds faster. And lo and behold, I got a bunch of PVs yesterday because of that.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Most
yeah,
people have the opposite problem, right? Where it's like something hard comes up and then they just like they're going like 100 miles into like a turn and it's like, well, you can't do that. You gotta like, like
yeah,
maybe, first two pairs are solved in front and then they can't look ahead into the stuff at the back. It's like, yeah, maybe you should turn slower in those parts. So, stuff like
yeah,
that. So it
yeah.
goes both ways.
That's mostly a personality thing, though, for me, I think. Like, for literally everything I've ever done, like athletic stuff, racing go karts, going skiing, riding bikes, like anything, I'm always the kid at the back that's kind of like watching everybody else and like
Yeah.
slowly, carefully speeding up, but I don't crash.
Yeah,
But I
that's
also don't do
huge.
anything super cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. What are some things that you've noticed, like, fast cubers do, but they don't explain well? I'll explain why I'm asking this question. In business, there are a whole bunch of business people who like, will have successful businesses and go on like podcasts or interviews and talk about this thing and that thing and the other thing. And then when you talk to them, you're like, dude, I cannot get this business idea to work. And you didn't explain like how to get past this roadblock. And you're like talking about it and they're like, oh yeah, well, obviously you just like hand out 10,000 flyers a day. And you're like, what? You did I'm sorry, you what? Like your brain just kind of explodes. Like,
Yeah.
what, you interviewed 200 people a day to fill that position? Like they just casually drop some ridiculous thing they did as
Yeah.
if everybody else does it, and then you're like, oh, I see why you're rich and I'm not.
Okay.
Are there things like that in cubing where it's like top level people do a certain thing, like a technique or a mindset or a amount they practice or whatever, and it's like as a coach you have to see that and like pass this on to other people?
Yeah. Well, I feel like the thing is that most top level cubers they don't even tell you what to do. Like they
Hmm.
don't even know. They can't even give you anything. They're just like one thing I hear from a lot of them and like when I talk to Maddie especially is and this is what I mean like there's a natural aptitude. Maddie just like sees it. He just sees it. And like I talk to him and he's just like I don't know. I see it. And like having a brain for like it just comes with solves, but like getting a understanding of how the pieces move. Like I talked about it a little bit in my multi-slotting video, and I think like yeah, like you're saying, I've had to learn how to like distill these concepts down because I understand how like I the reason why I can see two or three pairs at a time is because I just understand how the pieces move. Piece deduction as well, stuff like that. Those are really hard concepts, but um yeah, understanding how the pieces move and like I teach it in the way of like, set up like the inverse of a three move trigger, right? I gave you this explanation
Hmm.
essentially,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, set up the inverse on a solved cube. Now you get like a blueprint for how each of these triggers affect the pieces. And I think like that was like a huge unlock for me. And I think it's been a huge unlock for like a lot of my clients and stuff. Once they finally get those concepts down, like not only does it make the look ahead a lot easier, because most people are just like turn slow, look ahead, but it's like, okay, well, where should I be looking?
Hmm. Hmm.
Like how do I deal with cases where I can't see all the pieces, stuff like that. And, there's like a bunch of specific stuff you can work on to deal with those that I've had to like kind of theory craft and like, iterate on to help people kind of understand those concepts. But I think mainly it's
Yeah.
like look ahead. People are just like, well, turn slow and look ahead. Yeah, you need to learn how the pieces move. You need to know where to be looking. And then also like I was saying, like vary up your turn speed. Like sometimes you can't look ahead as effectively in one spot as you can another. So you need to adjust accordingly.
Yeah. So understanding how pieces interact and how to see ahead. Some people don't break it down well because they never had to like break it down. It just they absorbed it by
Yeah,
osmosis the more
yeah,
time they have with the cube.
like over time, if you do enough solves, like you talk to Maddie, it's like I was explaining my multi-slotting thing to him, like how to figure out every multi-slot case, and then he was like, I showed him a thing, and I was like, dude, did you know that this is actually a multi-slot? And he was like, wait, what? And I was like, well, yeah, like I had to reverse engineer this. Like it doesn't make sense, but if you understand how to like how these things work, you can
Hmm.
figure out how to set them up, and now you can learn more effectively from it. But all
Yeah.
he did is he just like did pairs, and he was like, oh, well, like I just learned this pattern, like
Yeah, yeah.
that's the biggest thing is like pattern recognition. I think that's like the huge like natural skill set that a lot of people have where they just see the patterns. Like that's all it
Hmm.
is, dude.
Yeah. What's interesting is like you've been cubing for like a really long time. Like your idea is from 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
10 years of competing is actually pretty crazy. Um, are there things now that you are a really high level competitor? And I know there are probably comps where you go and you're like, I feel like just kind of a normal dude, but top ranked and everything. Are there things that you miss about being earlier on as a cuber? Not the community 10 years ago, but
hmm
like you in cubing. Are there things about that that are like fond memories or things that like you can't recreate now?
Um, I mean, the biggest thing is like when I was younger, I had no concept of world rankings until I was top 10 in the world. Or like until I got top 20 in the world, I didn't even consider my world ranking like as a factor at all. And now like my world ranking is like very heavily tied to like my self-worth and like perception of self and like everything in the community. Because I remember I got like 709 official average in like January 2018, and that was tied with Cornelius Diekman at the time. And I
Hmm.
was just like, oh my gosh, dude, like I look up to this guy. Like I had no idea. Like I knew I was pretty good in my region, but like I didn't know it was like that. And then ever since then, like my whole mindset shifted. So I kind of wish I could go, and like I hear kids talk about it now. There's kids that are like, I'm rank 160 in the nation for 2x2 single, and it's like, yeah, dude, congrats, like that's awesome, that's
Among
amazing.
people who drink orange juice for breakfast on
Yeah,
Thursday, like,
yeah, dude.
okay, where
It's
where does this come from?
yeah, it's like I don't. It's like I feel like everyone is very aware of their rankings now. But I miss a time where I could kind of just I didn't have to think about it because now it's like Hansen you I think just got sub me and like I think I'm bumped down to 16 now and I'm just like oh dude like so I just not having the pressure or like the understanding of kind of like where I fit into the world rankings I guess.
Hmm. That's so interesting that you just like did it for the love of the game, and then you were
Yeah,
like, oh, look at that, I'm like top 20. That's kind of interesting,
yeah.
huh? What about the flip side of that? Like, what now are you really enjoying as a cuber that you didn't have access to enjoying earlier on? Like, there are things as you get really good at a discipline where it's like I can enjoy it for something else. Are there any things like that?
Well, the biggest thing is like, I mean, I've kind of grown like my brand, I guess. I really enjoy like engaging with the kids at comps because when I was younger, like I didn't have great experiences with some top level competitors, and like that really, rubbed me the wrong way when I was younger and everything. And so, just being like a positive role model for the kids, or just like, I went to a comp in Mission Viejo, and I did like an interview with this kid and like posted a video and like hung out with him and his dad for a few hours and like got his
Hmm.
dad's life
Hmm.
story, talked to the parents. Like World was amazing. I had so many kids come up and like, it's just cool to interact with them and like, it's really cool just like kind of being a figure in this little niche sport. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely what I enjoy the most. Going to the comps, like engaging with clients too, like making sure they're doing good, engaging with like just all the kids there, making sure they're having a good time, being a positive influence as much as I can.
Hmm. That's cool. That's really cool. Just like, did you start cubing? Why did you start cubing? Like, you just said that you didn't even realize like that world rankings existed until you
Yeah.
were like at the top of them. So like, what motivated you that whole time?
Well, so I started cube. I mean, I just like found a Rubik's cube in a duffel bag at a garage sale, and then looked up videos, thought it was cool, watched unboxings, and then I started seeing like world record compilations and stuff, and like obviously like the infamous Kevin Hayes like world record
Like the
fails,
pop
like yeah, the
compilations, yeah.
cube just like falling apart, like Felix at Worlds 2011, like 7x7 pop stuff like that. So, um, yeah, I mean, I like I knew that there was competitions. I knew there was world rankings. Like I think my first comp was like within 6 months of me learning how to solve. So yeah, I don't know. I just didn't really think about my world ranking at all. Like I knew it existed,
Yeah,
but like I never checked my profile or anything. But yeah, I don't know. It was just cool. It was fun. Like I got faster. I was like also pretty naturally talented. Like I got sub 10 within a year of competing officially. Which at the time was like, that was crazy. That was
that's
pretty
very,
good.
very good.
Yeah, but now it's
Even now,
like,
that's good, but in like 2016, 15, that's exceptionally good.
yeah. Yeah, and then I don't know, I just got faster and like I made friends through it and like it was like my main social outlet. So, yeah, I just kind of stuck with it and then yeah, love of the game, dude. Just did it all day cuz I liked cubing.
Yeah. How much, like, I'm curious about practice time. How much do you practice now?
Mm,
And how much did you practice at different stages? Like when you were on that getting to sub 10, how
yeah.
much a day were you, or a week or whatever? How much were you practicing?
I've always been a grinder, dude. I've always been a grinder. Let me check my daily stats. I went on a crazy session today. Let me see. Yeah, I've done 645 solves today already.
Today?
Yeah.
Dude, what?
Yeah. So like I mean, also I stream all the time like
Oh my word.
yeah.
I feel like a failure. Oh my gosh, bro.
Dude, that was a pretty degen session. But like right after Nats, I had 2,000 solved days back to back. Yeah, I've just always been a grinder. I mean, it was probably close to like, I mean, I played basketball when I was in school, so that was probably like 3 4 hours a day, like after coming home from school, pretty much just like my entire time not eating dinner or doing other stuff. I was just cubing. And then COVID time is when it was like really degenerate because I had online school and then they didn't make you keep your camera on. So like I was probably putting up like 10-hour days during COVID. Um, I was kind of coming off of like a little break, and COVID really like got me back into it real hard. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean nowadays it depends how much I'm working. I pretty much never go a day without doing at least like a few solves. I don't know. Nowadays it's anywhere from like, maybe I'll do like 30 minutes, but that's pretty rare. It's probably 3 4 hours total a day, but just like straight 3 by 3. And then some days are pretty degenerate, probably like, maybe like 5 or 6, but
Hmm.
it just depends how I'm feeling. Like I don't even
And
think
that's
about it at
literally
all.
just 645 solves that you just like sat down and just ripped it out. Like
Yeah, that was
just the
one
three by
sitting.
three.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long does that take you?
What? I don't know. I woke up today like that was probably like from like 9 to like 11 maybe.
You do that
11:30.
in 2 hours?
It was I could be getting it wrong. But yeah, it was probably from like 9 to like 11:30 and then I got dude, it's 'cause, like it's so addicting, dude. I was pacing PB when I started the session, my AO 1000 was at like 580 something, and then I brought it down. Now it's at like 561. So like I got PBAO 25, AO 50 today, and then I was like 0.05 off AO 100. So like when I'm
Okay.
pacing, it's
I
like
see.
you
That'll
gotta
do
keep
it.
it
Yeah,
running,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
You gotta keep going. So, or it's like you see the numbers start. I heard you say you don't like keeping a big session. I need a big session because I need to like have something to aim for, or else I'm just like gonna be aimlessly doing stuff. Like, so if I have like a goal number to shoot for, I'm always trying to get the number down, and then once I'm pacing the PB, it's like I can't stop until I get there. And
Yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
only after I've like fully exhausted my brain and like there's no chance I get it, then it's like I hang it up. Once I'm like point 0.2 off AO 100, it's like yeah, maybe we don't come back from that. But then the demons in my head like no, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I just get lost in it, dude.
Hmm. That is so helpful to like 645 solves in like 2.5-ish hours. That's actually really crazy that you're doing almost, yeah, you're probably doing 300 solves in an hour, if that's accurate.
I don't, man, that seems a
Like that
little
sounds like an
exaggerated.
absurd number. It must
Yeah.
have been like it has to be longer,
Yeah,
right?
maybe it was like 3 hours. I really couldn't tell you. I mean, like I don't look at the time. I don't track anything. It's just like
Hmm.
I just sit down and keep it pushing.
You just go.
Yeah.
What was the rationale behind like doing Mega and 4 and 5? Like those are the events on your profile that I saw that you have like better-ish times at.
Yeah. Well, I used to be somewhat of an all-rounder. Like I was actually pretty good at like 2 through 5 OH and like I would podium
OH,
at
you
my
also have good
local.
OH times.
Yeah, OH is just lucky. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I started off as a 2x2 kid. I learned how to solve 2x2 before I learned how to solve 3x3.
Okay.
And I was really obsessed with 2x2, learned CLL, well, all that stuff. But I don't know, it's just the events I was good at. And like 6 and 7, I literally didn't learn how to solve until like last year, I think. And then I just did no solves. Um, I also I learned so I didn't learn 4x4 until a year and a half after I started cubing. And so when I did that, I just learned Yao. And like, I was an OG Yao user back in like 2016. And yeah, and then it was just like, well, you don't do Yao on 6 and 7 like you could feasibly, like Jay talked about it, but yeah, I didn't watch a tutorial for 4x4 either. So when someone told me how to solve 5x5, they were like, just do the thing you would do on 4x4. So like, I don't know, I just figured out 4 and 5 kind of myself. And then I just didn't feel like doing 6 and 7. But
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy 5x5. 5x5 is probably like my third favorite event. I recently got like double PRs at my last comp, and like I think I really want to grind 5, but I'm also just too lazy to do that. Yeah, Mega was because it was COVID time, and I was like, okay, this event is really fun, and like I'd always wanted to get good at Mega since like Nats 2016. And I was like, I averaged like a minute. I'd been averaging a minute for so long, and I was like, okay, I'm going to grind this because I know it's going to be fun when I'm good. And like, it was such a slog to get through. But then like, I was just streaming, doing Megaminx all the time, like engaging with like the Megaminx community, and they were very helpful in like helping me get faster and everything. So I don't know. It was just an event I enjoyed. Like that's kind of
Yeah.
just it.
Hmm. Is there anything that you remember like especially difficult that you had to learn? Because it sounds like most of what you did is just kind of like go with the vibes and keep solving. But were there
Yeah.
any things where it was like, this sucks and I have to intentionally attack this to like break this habit or learn this alg set or whatever? Because I know you don't really do a lot of advanced algs either.
No, not really. With Mega, with Mega, the biggest thing was like there was a certain concept of like every pair in Mega can be done in 8 moves or less, which is like kind of insane. I think it can actually be done in 7 maybe. But yeah, I was like, okay, so I just had to do untimed solves and like work on my efficiency and like deal with that. And then um yeah, I think the hardest thing for 3x3 wise was just like learning how to like control my turn speed and like actively look ahead, because a lot of look ahead is very like unconscious for most people. Like you kind of just learn the patterns and everything, but forcing myself to actually do it consistently was really, really hard, and it required me to turn slower because I also got really hard stuck at like 6-8 for like a decent period of time. And I found myself doing solves and being like, look, I'm not pausing, I'm turning fast, but I would just get so annoyed because I would just get like bad pair, bad pair, bad pair, and I was just like at the mercy of the cases I was getting. And I had to learn how to like influence stuff intentionally. And it starts with just like avoid the bad thing. And then, once you can avoid the bad thing, you can start setting up good things. Um, but that was a whole ordeal, and that's something
Hmm.
that like I'm still improving on now. And the
Yeah.
thing that I need to just like grind now is like inspection depth, because that's just like do like just you just have you just have to like completely destroy your brain every single day to like get higher quality like inspection depth, and I'm just too lazy to do that. So
Yeah. That point about like I got to a certain speed and then I felt like I was just getting capped by unlucky cases and then
mhm.
realizing I can actually even control that. That's so good because like Luke and I have gone through a bunch of Yihang solves and it's like Yihang always has a 3 mover after his cross no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's like he's tracking so much more information at one time and actually influencing it. Like I was kind of like, why do I need to keep studying F2L if I can like easily see the optimal solution for each case? And then I was like, wait, that's totally not the way this works. Like
No.
in an ideal world, every solution you do is influencing all your other cases and your last layer cases.
Yep.
Like it is all connected. The
Yeah.
inspection thing, I wanted to plug solved.no here because I've been messaging that guy who designs it on Facebook, and he's been asking if I had features I wanted to add, and he added a thing where you can save things you miss. So for his like double X cross trainers and stuff, what I've found is that I consistently miss cases that have like themes, like, you know, L2 into B prime or something. And it's like I just miss, like, the edges just go into oblivion on those cases. But if I do, like, you know, I practice 50 cases and I miss 20, I can save the 20 I missed and then go review them later. And then they all end up being similar. And my brain, like, starts to adjust to a hard thing. So that might be useful, but maybe not.
There's a really good website too. I talked about it on my stream recently. Dan Bow made it. It's it's like an inspection tracker thing. Here, I can send it to you on Discord. Oh. But it's essentially just like a 3D cube, and you can do up to like 20 move scrambles, and it'll give you like, you can either isolate like edges, pairs, and then you can also do this with like, if you wanted to do like pair prediction practice, you can do like random F2L algs, and it'll make you track
Huh.
pairs through that. But I
I'll
find this
definitely
really
have to
useful.
play with this.
It's essentially the exact same thing as like just, you know, doing cross plus one blind, except you get instant feedback. So um I really like this. I recommend this to most of my clients who like can't predict first pair, because you can also just like vary difficulty on it.
Hmm. Cool. I'll mess around with it. Okay, so I have like one or two more questions about practicing, and then we can switch topics. But I was curious. So imagine with me, an alien invasion is happening, and the aliens say, "Dylan, we're doing a cube off to save the universe 2 years from today." And so, if humanity's fate is resting on your cubing ability 2 years from now,
We're cooked.
how would your practice change though? Like, what if you had to theoretically do exact optimal practice to achieve the best result you can on a competition day in 2 years? Are there things you would learn, do, change in like how you practice, methods you're learning, that sort of stuff?
2 years. I don't know if 2 years is enough for me to learn ZB. I also am like so far back on ZB. I feel like ideally it would be better, but I mean, what I would do is I would just probably grind inspection for 2 years, just go in the time chamber and hopefully
Yeah.
see like cross plus three every solve. Because realistically, I think I think I can very feasibly get to like Yufong level of like inspection depth plus turning, because he's averaging like 12 TPS, and like I think I can do that like just with better inspection.
Mm-hmm.
I don't maybe I if learning ZB would be ideal, but I don't know if that's the best use of my time. Honestly, I think if I just like grind 2 years of just inspection, I would get closer to like Yihang level starts, more efficient starts. I mean, I would probably do like optimal X cross trainers, more double X cross trainers. I did that for a while, but like I feel like I pretty much understand all the concepts now. It's just a matter of I don't see some of like the weird ways that they get started.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, it would just be inspection, honestly, and then just like my turning's already pretty good. Like I can get like 15 TPS solves, so I don't think I need to work on that too much. Yeah,
Yeah. Do you
I'm
do
also
you
just
use
lazy.
cubes? Oh, do you use cubes that are slow or fast generally? Like loose, tight, slow, fast.
I started off with really, really, really slow cubes. Um, I I don't know if you remember like the old GAN GES system. I used
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
GAN UM SM, and I would use those on like red GES nuts.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, like red or orange, it depended, but yeah, recently I've kind of transitioned more towards like a very middle of the road cube. Sometimes I do better on slow cubes just because I have a lot of force behind all my turns. So when I'm like overshooting on fast cubes, I need something that just like naturally corrects for me rather than me having to think about turning lighter, because that's just
Mm-hmm.
too much to think about and it'll just be like worse. But yeah, started really, really slow. Like all my old cubes from like 2018 are literally bricks on a shelf right now. And then now it's like slightly more on the slow side, but I'm also able to use like slightly erring on the faster side. But it's just moderate in
Yeah.
that
Okay.
range.
So used to be slow, now a little bit faster. I have always been like a controllable cubes guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've recently, like last 3 4 weeks, I've been maining the V11 20 mag ball core, and it's like you breathe on it and it does a U3,
Yeah.
and that's made me learn a lot about like controlling fast TPS on last layer. But I didn't realize how it actually does like affect a lot about your turning. I watched a 3x3 average from Jacob Noakes, if you know who that
Yeah.
is,
No, that's my go.
and his turning was like so crisp. Like every turn was like perfect. His last layer algs were just pristine. It was like zero shakiness, zero
Yeah.
misalignment. And I was like, how do you do this? And he was like, I just use really slow cube. And I was like, oh, that would actually be so nice.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, you don't turn as fast. Like you actually turn slower with a slower cube.
Well, I don't.
So I
I
still don't know
think.
where I'm gonna land on that. I'm messing
I don't
around.
know. I think it's only slower if you didn't start on slow cubes. I think if you start on a really fast cube, like a lot of the Chinese solvers, that's optimal. Like that's what you probably should be doing. I think we're kind of going that direction, but
Yeah.
um, I don't know. For me, it's like I've built up such a strong habit of turning very forcefully, and I kind of hope that solver doesn't die off in the coming years. I'm scared that it will, because like even me, I've like kind of started gearing my way towards slightly faster cubes, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's inherently better. Maybe it is, but I don't. I think the jury's still out.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. I think as long as big cube solvers are a thing, there will still be people who have a bias towards slow cubes. But you're right that like as manufacturers switch what they make, it's gonna get harder and harder.
Yeah.
Like one of my big things is I need a cube to be 56 millimeters.
Mm-hmm.
Smaller than that really messes with a lot of PLL stuff.
Okay.
And it kills me because there's so many good cubes over the years that are not that. And it's like
Mhm.
I want to use this so much, but like half my PLLs just break.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a skill issue, but remains to be seen, I guess, as I get better. Um, so to switch gears a little bit, what competitions have you just really enjoyed competing in? Are there any that are just like standout positive memories for you over time?
Like solely the competitor experience, or like just the
The whole
competition as a
event.
whole?
The whole
Okay.
event. What makes cubing events stand out in your head?
So most of my favorite cubing comps have been where me and the boys just like have a grand old time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Off the top of my head, I really enjoyed this group of comps called Southeast Texas Open, or just like Southeast Texas comps. They were held in Beaumont, Texas. That for years was the closest competition to me. It was a 3 hour drive because we didn't have competitions in Louisiana.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I heard 3 hours and I was like, dude, I can do the drive in a day after school. Like, I don't have to get it out of school early to go to a comp. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then I met a bunch of like long-term friends at my first Southeast Texas comp, like Zachary White, Seth Talbot, who ended up being the first ever Louisiana delegate, youngest delegate at the time, ever. And yeah, that competition was really fun. One of the later Southeast Texas comps, they gave away prize money for winning. So I won like $190 that comp. You know, that was cool. Southern Champs 2018 was held at the Westin Galleria in Houston. That was really fun. We just like hung out in the mall and like had a good old time. And then nowadays, just like pretty much any Louisiana local, like I love the vibes there. It's a really homegrown community, and me and my boys, we just hang out, have a good time, talk, and then we go play poker after the comp. It's
Nice.
just it's a nice time. So yeah, and then obviously Worlds was amazing. I think Worlds was like a recent time.
25 this year?
Yeah, I've only been to that one, so
Okay.
yeah, that one oh well, I lied. I went to 23. But yeah, that was that stuck out a lot to me. Just hanging out with everyone, like the most people I'd ever seen at a comp, you know.
Hmm. Where did you grow up? I heard Louisiana, I heard Texas, like
Yeah, I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
okay.
Yeah.
And now you're in SoCal, right?
Yep.
So so tell me about the two places. Like I'm really curious what you think about South Central, Southeast versus SoCal, like in your
Yeah.
experience so far.
Um so well I was living in New Orleans for the past few years for school, and
Okay.
New Orleans has its own culture, and like obviously I love Louisiana, but people have asked me this question, and like the biggest thing I say is like New Orleans is just kind of grimy, dude. Like it's kind of like
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it's a little grimy, but like that's the appeal of it. Like it's just there's so much
Right.
degeneracy and debauchery and all that stuff. So
And there are
um
some people who are like, I want to go to New Orleans for that. And
yeah,
then there
oh
are other
yeah,
people who are like
steer
like I
clear.
would not, that is not my thing at all.
Yeah. So being in SoCal, I mean, let's see. I mean, honestly, it's like I guess the vibes of like the people here are way different. Like, I was talking to like a dude at the gas station the other day. I just like struck up a conversation with him, and he was like, you're a genuine young man. The people out here, they don't care. And I was like,
Yeah.
I like, thank you, sir, thank you. Um, yeah, and I kind of get that vibe a little bit. I missed kind of like the Southern hospitality down there
hmm
and
hmm
everything. I mean, there's just like so much going on here, like everywhere all the time. Not, I mean, New Orleans has some of that, but like, yeah, it's just a lot more going on, and it's a lot more people. Like that's the biggest thing is like there's kind of just people everywhere. When I go to LA,
Yes.
like it's insane. Yeah, I would say like the vibes are similar. Like everyone's pretty laid back. I mean, people are laid back in Louisiana too. So overall, like they're not too dissimilar. Maybe I'm just kind of crazy, but being in LA proper, like that's just like a whole. There's a lot going on, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, like a great analogy that like explains the whole busyness thing to me is sports fandoms. So a lot of my family's from South Carolina, and in South
okay,
Carolina, when there's a Clemson football game happening, like the earth stops its rotation and
yeah,
everybody goes to the Clemson football stadium,
yeah,
and the team could be 0 and 11, and everybody and their mother would all show up anyway for the game. It could be pouring rain,
yeah,
and like there could be a literal hurricane rolling in and the stadium would still be booked out and everybody would be there. And here in California, like if the USC Trojans are like, they've lost twice, the stadium's like 2/3 empty because everybody can like, they can go to Disneyland, they can go to the beach,
yeah,
they can go dirt biking, they can go ski, like they can go skiing, they can do literally whatever they want other than that thing. And like that kind of ends up holding true across a lot of stuff. People are just like, well, there's a lot I could do. So like loyalty is not a huge thing.
yeah.
And yet, you talk about people being genuine, and like, I grew up in SoCal, families in South Carolina, and the
Hmm.
Southern friendliness thing kind of drives me nuts. Like, when I go order lunch, I just want to order my food and like get my food and leave. I
Really?
don't want to have a conversation with you about like my background and like why I chose this shirt today and
Yeah,
like the four different types of fried chicken I've had other than your sandwich. Like, can I just have my food? And like I married a girl who grew up in France, and so
yeah.
that's really funny because she has even more of this where she's like, they're looking at me. I must have done something wrong. Like the
Okay.
European customer service is like so different.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like the more hands off, but like Californians are still friendly for the most part. They're not like hostile. It's not Jersey. Uh, that's cool. You said school in Louisiana. Did you go to college there, or what was that about?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I went to LSU first semester of my freshman year, and then I transferred to University of New Orleans. But bounced around a bunch of different majors, ended up doing planning and urban studies. Currently I'm a college dropout, technically. Full-time cuber. But yeah, just did the typical go get your degree, get a job type deal. And then yeah, I mean ideally I'd like to go back to school, but um depends because I don't know where I'm gonna be staying long term.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Honestly, not just not going to school for the sake of it seems like a really good decision to me. Like I have undergrad degrees, I have a master's degree, and I kind of wish I didn't get them, and I would
hmm.
have just jumped straight into like doing business stuff and messing around with the real world
Yeah,
because
yeah.
college does such a bad job preparing you for that unless you're going to be like the ultimate, Ivy League investment banker person. And I don't really want that lifestyle anyway. Like I would rather have a little bit more flexibility and freedom than being chained to a really high level job. But, some people are super into that stuff. We got a
For
few of
sure.
those wonderful investment banker types in our community.
Yep,
Like my,
definitely.
my favorite thing is Felix just like casually being like, yeah, so I'm just gonna go manage the Australian government's money
Yeah,
and still
yeah,
compete and be
yeah,
pretty good. Can we talk about Felix for a second?
yeah, for
Who
sure.
did you look up to in cubing over the years? Like, who were your people who were like, I love this guy, I love their solves, or I love their content, or
Hmm.
did you have people like that where it was like you
Yeah.
mentioned Cornelius Diekman
Hmm.
earlier? Are
Yeah,
there other people like
there's
that?
dude, it was literally everybody. Like literally anybody you could think of. I would just looked up to them. Um Even now like I kind of have like somewhat of imposter syndrome like cuz I feel like I there's no way I can live up to like who these people were in that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But yeah, Felix obviously, Matt's obviously, Kevin, Jay McNeil,
Dude, Jay's the goat. I love
dude,
Jay's stuff.
yeah, Jay's amazing. Let's see. I mean, yeah, like I said, Cornelius and like some random ones. I really liked Kenan Lejeune. I really loved his turning back in the day. Um, I was into OH for a period of time, so I liked Weston Mizumoto.
Mm,
Um, yeah, those are some like deeper cuts, I suppose.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. Oh, Alex Lau, the goat. Uh,
Yeah, man, you're saying names that I don't know who they are. Now I'm curious.
yeah. So just a bunch of Lucas, obviously Lucas and Rami, even though like they are pretty similar to my age, they were only a few years older, but
Yeah.
yeah, they had like a little power duo. Patrick too. It's crazy that now me and Patrick are like kind of boys, because I was like, dude, I was a fan. I was such a
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the ones I can think of right now.
Rami is a huge one for me too. I've just always liked Rami's like vibe, and he has these videos on his channel when he was like a really really young kid,
But
and
yeah.
he was still very clearly thinking intentionally through like how he's going to solve and why.
Hmm.
I would love to talk to Rami just about like some of the stuff he's doing now in the Silicon Valley too.
Yeah.
Anyway, other things. Dude, that's so cool. Mm. What do you think about Felix still competing? Like Felix still competing is a really interesting thing because he's kind of like he's maintaining his skill. But what do you think about like, he's still competing. He still has a very good amount of skill, but like his absolute ranking is kind of dropping little bit by little bit, and he's not really setting PRs all over the place. Like, I don't know, how does it make you feel that he's still doing it? Is it like, yes, he's still competing, or is it like, oh man, like I wish he was on top? Like,
Well, I would say Felix is better now than he's ever been. Like if you look at
yes.
like yeah, I think he's paced PR multiple times. Like he's gotten close to beating his OCR many times previously. So, um, I mean, I don't know. It's just cool to see him still doing it. Like that is just
Yes.
my takeaway, right? Like you know, you don't want to see you don't want to see your goat retire, man. And in cubing, you can kind of keep going as long as like you don't get arthritis, you know? Yeah, I'm just happy to see him just keep doing it. I'm like obviously he's like a huge positive for the community and everything. So I just hope that you know, kids in the future can new gens can still appreciate him and he's
Yeah.
not like he won't be lost to time, but you know, being there when he was on top, like obviously you have an affinity for him that the kids nowadays can't really appreciate in the same way. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel the same. Honestly, way more positive even. I just so love that Felix is still competing. He's still grinding. You can tell he just totally loves the game. He
Yeah.
wants to learn from other people. There is zero animosity to people who are better than him. He just loves everything about the community and the solve and the other people who are competing. It's just amazing. Even getting to know Max Park around here, and seeing like Felix literally influenced Max and is good friends with him to this day. It makes me so happy that we got a guy like that to be the
But yeah.
figurehead for a lot of like the formative years of cubing.
Yeah, we could have been
Mm.
very unlucky with anyone else. Like obviously like he's for years he was probably like the biggest driving force in cubing growing, right? Like all the world
Yeah.
records he was
Oh, for
getting and
sure.
everything, like without that, like less media coverage and then, you know, having yeah, like you said, such a positive role model as the figurehead, like we could not have gotten luckier.
Yeah. Oh, extremely. Are there any things that you want to talk about, um, or that you want to just kind of put out on camera for everybody?
Me on the spot here. Let's see. No, off the top, I can't think of anything. Yeah, no. I mean, so one thing that I find it really interesting that I've had to kind of grapple with is like it when I first started cubing, I would hear this like sentiment from people that I told like, oh, it's pretty good. They'd be like, they would always assume the world record holder was like a young Asian child, and I was always very like proud to say. No, it's actually very diverse across the whole world, right? Like Europeans are
Hmm.
good, best dudes from Australia, US is good, like even fight across like the whole board. And I don't know. I mean, it makes sense that China has become the best, kind of like Russia did in chess. They've invested the most into like the infrastructure. They have like, the demographics for it right now, like obviously and everything. So, um it's just a little it's a little unfortunate, right? Like I would love it
Yeah.
to still be kind of like a competition across everybody, but yeah, no, the future of cubing is in China. Um which is really dope. Like I mean, I love it. Like the sport is growing and that's all you kind of want. So that's awesome and I'm hoping to plan a trip to China. I was streaming the other day and someone was like, I did a donation goal to dye my hair and then my chat was like, how much would it be to send you to China? And then we're looking at flights, and I was like, I could get a flight for like $700 round trip. Like, boys, don't know goal. I'll go to a comp with Yihang. So I haven't been to China. I mean, I'd love to visit the Moyu factory and like experience everything out there.
Hmm.
Um, I was saying like I would try to, learn Mandarin and then become a coach over there, but the market share is already
Learn
taken up.
Mandarin. Learn Mandarin.
I think I do need to learn Mandarin, but also it's like I don't know if that's a good business play. You can help me out with this. I like I feel like I should just try to get it in the States where like it's not super taken over. Like there's not all these schools I have to compete with and everything. It's kind of just like just a few people, few players, Until
No, it's a horrible business move to like learn Mandarin and try to coach over there. Like you don't
okay.
understand their culture and mindset.
Yeah.
Like that you don't understand what motivates the parents. You don't understand how the kids are normally taught in the school system. You wouldn't understand the language well enough to really like handle the kids well. Like there's 1,001 reasons why that's a bad idea. And I
Okay.
think the cubing market in North America is like and the Western world is extremely underserved for like actual products they could buy. You just need to make more content that targets that audience. And
Yeah.
like every time you make one of your videos that explains the like cubing topics that are adjacent to your coaching, there's a higher chance that like one person who's interested will watch the video and then go down the funnel to your coaching. So it's like, okay, so how can we like 50x the amount of shots we're taking to attract the right kind of people if
That's
you want to
that's
like grow the back
that's what
end?
I've been on. I've been trying to post more educational content.
Yeah.
Um but I'm also
Yeah.
like prevailing theme here is that I'm also just a pretty lazy guy.
Yeah.
Just overall.
You can be lazy and still like set your business up to work for you as long as you
That's
set it
true.
up so that the things that you default to in your laziness are like, you know, growing you towards your right goals.
Yeah.
Or you can just set up your environment so that the laziest thing to do is the correct one.
Yeah, that
Like
that is
I
that is true.
my approach to dieting is not have self-control. It's literally throw away all food that is not the correct food to be eating.
Yeah.
And like only keep the right stuff in the house because I have no impulse control. So it's like, well, I could fight it or I could just remove the option.
Yeah.
And my poor wife, when we got married, was like, honey, I can't have any food in the house. And I'm like, you're right. Exactly. We worked through it. We got there
Yeah.
in the end.
Okay, that's
Uh,
good. That's good.
okay. Well, I have a couple last things then, and then we'll call it there. I want to ask everybody just what is it about cubing that has kept you at it for this long? Why do you love it? What does it mean to you, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, partially it's like a object in motion stays in motion type deal. Like I've been cubing
Mm-hmm.
for so
Mm-hmm.
long. I talked about this a little bit on the millisecond. I feel like I can't quit now because I don't have something in my career that I can kind of just like call it on.
Yeah.
And it's been a very like love hate thing with me over the years. But I find myself coming back to it even when I tell myself I should probably take a break because I love the solve. Like it. It's really mentally stimulating. It gives me a thing to try to improve at. Um, and also I just love like everything about the community. A lot of my friends are in the community. Obviously it's my job, so like I'm not really in a position to, kind of step away in a decent bit of time. Um but I love talking about it with everybody. Yeah, it's been so formative for like me in my life, and I really don't know where I would be if I had never found that cube in that duffel bag that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it really altered the course of my life, and Yeah, as much as I've had like really emotional down moments because of cubing, like I don't really look back on it negatively in that way because
Hmm.
I always enjoy hanging out with people and competing and traveling and putting out stuff for people and everything. There's really like very little bad things I can say about it.
Yeah. I was talking to Carter Thomas a few days ago, and he was like talking about nerves in nationals finals. And he was like, I know it's silly to care so much going into a final. And I was like, wait, no, 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 no. It's not silly. Like,
Yeah.
this thing means a lot to you.
Hmm.
And it's really cool. Like, I think fundamentally, from what I've learned about you on this call, it does kind of boil down to like, you love the solve. That's why you're a grinder. That's why the thing that motivates you more than anything else is like watching the session times. Like
Yeah.
that feedback loop of like solve, see time improve. Like you love that motion more than just about anything else. But there's so many other factors where it's like it really is an identity and community thing at this point, which is
Yeah, for sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, and then going forward, I have like five more people lined up already for this, which is super
Yeah.
super exciting. But I want everybody to leave a question for the next person who's going to be on the show.
Oh,
So
okay.
text me that. But nobody's been on yet, so I get to ask you a random question at the
Oh,
end.
cool. Okay.
What is your favorite Pixar movie?
Pixar movie. Oh my goodness. Hold on. I need to look at a list.
Okay, so he doesn't know off the top of his head, which is a bad sign.
Dude, I used to watch the Super Carlin Brothers and I used to watch the the Pixar Theory deep dives. Uh,
That's very meta
that's
that you know more about those than you know about the actual
that
movies.
that is a little true. That is true. Probably The Incredibles.
Incredibles. That's a very, very solid pick. I
Yeah.
respect it.
There we go.
With that, thank you so much for your time, Dylan. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, of course. Appreciate it.
Yeah. See you in like a few weeks at the Temecula competition.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. See you, dude. Bye for now.
Peace.